Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about John Eastman's effort to save his bar license. So, proceedings are undergoing now in California, where John Eastman has a license to practice law to strip him of that license based on his dishonest and fraudulent activities involved in the efforts to propagate the big lie and keep Biden from becoming president. So recall who this guy is. He is, he's a former Clarence Thomas clerk. He's somewhat in conservative circles. He has a kind of a murky role or perch, or he did, as a professor at Chapman University, except it's not clear he was really teaching anymore. And indeed, one way he's got himself in trouble is by using all their his account there to do all this stuff, and that could make the material open. It did. But he's that guy, and he just like pretty much everyone else. I'm reminded of Jeff Clark at DOJ. They've come to Trump's attention just because Trump is looking for any port in a storm, and most of the available ports, even the familiar ones, are closed down to him because people won't buy his totally mendacious but also nefarious attempts to propagate the big lie. So the White House counsel won't, and the deputy White House counsel. So that's how kind of riffraff like Clark and Eastman come to the fore. They're just guys who'll say crap to him, and that crap is what he's looking for. So Eastman's biggest role, he does a few things, but he is basically the architect of the asinine, meritless theory that Mike Pence can hijack the election come January 6th. Remember the whole brouhaha there. The 12th Amendment gives the vice president a very particular role to open the envelopes that have come from the various states and announce the electors. It's akin, and I, mentioned this at the time, to the guys at the Academy Awards open, and the winner is, and the Eastman theory basically would have had the presenter come out and say, they're opening it, and Brad Pitt just changes it and chooses, and Jennifer Aniston, Angelina Jolie, whoever he wants. That's really as sensible and grounded as the Eastman position was, and he really pushed it hard, and gave all kinds of cover to Trump. Also in Georgia, he pushed very hard the notion of voting irregularities. Now, this came, there were contentious discussions, you may recall, at the time, with people in the White House counsel's office who said, I think it was he, well, you better get a damn good criminal lawyer, John. And he was pushed, well, would we win this in the Supreme Court, your theory? And he allowed us how, nah, they'd probably lose it 9-0, So it was really, now take a step back. So he may be charged criminally, but take a step back and think of him as a lawyer who has a duty of candor to the court in general, and to clients, and you can also a duty not to advance frivolous positions. So he's peddling his law license to sell crazy ass stuff that no undergraduate would endorse. So that makes him in some ways particularly vulnerable to a motion to lose his law license, which was brought by a consortium of really sort of big shot bar types. And the hearing is now underway. So the there's a prosecutor equivalent, which is the officer for the state of California who's making a presentation and is, saying a attorney for the state bar that it was, Dr. Eastman sought at every turn to avoid every public test of his theory. He privately confessed it had no chance of succeeding, and it damaged the nation. And he knew it, and that's for a number of reasons. He should be losing his bar license, and that's one of 11. There are 11 different charges against him. So he's got to defend himself. He's got a lawyer to do that, and then the basic story came out. So the story that he's going to try to use in front of the bar officials in the state of California is there were irregularities. He was just trying to look into them, to settle them before going forward. He wasn't really saying this was true. All he was saying is you should really look into it and have a reasonable investigation into alleged voting irregularities. Now, this is like a trial. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt, but that testimony just doesn't hold up. He wasn't saying, we should look into this. He was trying to steal the election and selling it to Trump, who was a very ready and willing client there, as it were. So he also said at this hearing yesterday that he was just relying on an expert, quote, accountant, and they gave the name, a guy named Brian Giles. No one has ever heard of this person, and the attorney for the state bar noted he's got no experience in elections. He's got no degree in statistics. So it's sort of the next level, right? Trump is saying, I'm relying on Eastman, but Eastman is just somebody he's grabbed because he'll say what he wants to. And now Eastman has somebody that he'll grab to say something he wants to, but there's no bona fides. And it's not enough to say I relied on some, crazy guy I met at a bus stop. Rather, you need to have a real, justification for doing what you're doing. He's a lawyer. You can't just advance crazy things. So there are canons that apply to lawyers much more than regular citizens. And if the court could easily find, and as I say, this is different from any of the criminal investigation against him, but that he violated several really bedrock responsibilities that lawyers have, and that are the basics for their being licensed by the state bar. So we'll see what happens. State bar proceedings are pretty capricious, and they're often there are political overtones. I think there probably are here. Of course, that might cut against Eastman, but nevertheless, so his livelihood may be on the line. Not that you need a license to teach law, but I don't think his teaching future is very auspicious. So this is all going to go down in the next few days, and we'll have a result, and we'll see whether Counsel John Eastman retains the ability to practice law with a California bar license. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.